Hey, it's Mike. Back in the garage today, which is a pigsty, if you can't tell. Today's project is going to get in the bell housing ready for paint. Well, we'll see how it turns out. It's pretty rusty. We'll give you a show and see how far we can get on it. Shouldn't be too bad of a job. Just going to grind it up with a wire wheel and give it a little scuff job, make sure it's nice and clean. And then I got a spray can of our engine color, which should go on pretty easy. Hopefully it matches okay. The engine was brushed on, so there might be a little bit of variation, but this is gonna be tucked in there nice and deep under the in the firewall, so won't be too noticeable. Well, let's get set up and get started. Yeah, she's a dirty one. We'll see. Got this off of a forum one time, back in the day. All right, that twisted cup worked a treat. It wasn't too hard at all. Give it a little clean and a scuff. See if we can get some of this pitting smoothed out on the top. That way we got a nice surface for our transmission to sit up against. And I think this is going to come out pretty good. Okay, give it a quick wipe with some acetone, just to make sure we're not making it any more dirty than it needs to be. And then we'll got some 80 grit on the sander there. We'll just see if it does anything up here. If not, we may have to put a disc on the grinder and get that knocked down. And then we'll just do a little scuff around the perimeter. All right, I think that did a pretty good job. We're gonna hit this with some metal prep anyway. This is pretty pitted, and I'm not gonna try to sand out the pits. So we got a little bit of surface rust. We'll get this wiped down. We'll hit it with the metal prep after we hit this flange a little bit, just by hand, and we'll keep on going. Okay, so we've got it all degreased. Used the KBS clean, whatever they call that stuff. Anyway, it's a water-based thing. Sprayed it off, and now we're dry. So we're gonna use call this stuff Rust Blast, and we're gonna keep it wet for about 20 minutes. Give it an etch, and then we'll rinse it off, get it dry, and then we'll be on to painting. Now they say you don't let this stuff dry on the surface, so we'll see how well I do with that. Alright, I'd say that's pretty saturated. We'll let it sit. I'll keep checking on it, make sure we don't get dry. Okay, our 20 minutes is just about up. Looking at this, we can see we got quite a bit of change here in this area. Looks pretty good. The stuff we're using doesn't have to be completely rust-free, as long as it's clean and not loose rust. So they claim. Time will tell, I'm sure. Yeah, looks pretty good, I think. We just got a little bucket of water with some towels here. We'll just get it rinsed off. Probably should have put something down on the floor, shouldn't I? A little late for that, I think. All right, and we just gotta get it dry. Let's get the heat gun. 300 seems okay, I guess. I don't know. We'll find out. We can go hotter. Let's go hotter. I don't want to be out here all day. Okay, we're pretty dry. I'm gonna go ahead and let that sit for a little while. I got some other projects in the house I can work on for a few minutes while that finishes up. Okay, we're about ready to get started here. Got my fan on. And put a couple of risers here so we can get it up off the sawhorses. Should sit nicely. Oh, almost forgot. Got ourselves a selection of plugs. Master bolt holes. These things are great. Come in a kit, they're just silicone. I mean, they're made for powder coating. But they work great for all sorts of painting. And then when you're done, the paint just peels right off of the plug and you can reuse it. You got plugs and they also have caps. You're masking bolts and things. I think I'll start on this side closest to me and work up over the top. And then we'll be back on this side for a second coat pretty much right away, I think. It's not a bad color. Yeah, that color came out pretty good, I think. You know what? I think we're going to leave it there. That looks pretty good. The can says 1 or 2 coats. So we've done our 2. And I think that looks pretty good. It's a nice color. I like that. All right. Since we only used a little bit of a can, let's make sure you clean your tip. Turn it upside down, give it a shot. And that should clean out the paint. There we go, one freshly painted bell housing. A little bit of information, if you're working on these AMCs, everything is unique. And there is a difference between the early model T10 transmissions and the later T10s, and that the input shaft is different length and the bell housing depth is different. And the early ones are short. So they don't make these bell housings anymore. I think there's a QuickTime or a Lakewood bell housing, and it's made for the short early T10, I think. So we'll see. I have not actually verified that this bell housing is what it is, or what it's claimed to be. So that'll be interesting when we go to assemble everything, whether or not we're in the right place where we need to be. So with that, until next time.